hello, everyone. Welcome to another broadcast with Marriage Beyond the Breach. I am your girl, Valerie Mason Chase. And this tall drink of water right here, this sexy man,
Bernard Chase
Jr. Also known as the Cookieman. So welcome, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. Next Sunday is, I think it's one of the most celebrated days on the calendar. And it's Mother's Day. Mm-hmm. Next Sunday is Mother's Day. And so what we decided, we're doing this early. We're honoring our mothers today because quite honestly, next Sunday, I will be celebrating my own Mother's Day. My husband and my children will be celebrating me as a mom. But I wanted, what you grinning at?
I don't know. I was going to say something, but I'll wait.
Oh, Lord. He always got something to say. Lord have mercy. So we wanted to come on and talk about our mothers. And I am inviting each one of you, if you're watching, if you would like to honor your mother as well, I'm going to put in the comments an email address. You can email me a picture of your mom, and if you want to come on screen and talk about your mother and honor your mother, please feel free to do so. So I'm going to write this in right now. So Cookieman, say something while I'm typing this in, because I can't type and talk at the same time. I'm sorry.
Since when? She lying.
Go ahead,
yeah,
honey.
this ought to be interesting. As you notice, I have some puffs nearby. 3-ply, because it might be one of those days today when we talk about our mothers.
Okay, so I just put it in Valerie at marriagebeyondthebreach.com. If you want to send a picture of your mom, and if you want to come on and talk about your mother, I'll post her picture while you talk about her, and I will also send you the link. My son Jono said Dad's gonna be crying within 10 minutes. You know your dad well.
He said within 5 minutes.
Within 5 minutes. Hey Lynette. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Sidel, our daughter, Jono, our baby boy. Thank you guys so much for watching. Jackie said she's got her tissues too. So I'm gonna bring up a couple of pictures. And this is just kind of impromptu. We're just going to share from our hearts and talk about our moms. We don't have anything scripted. Whatever we're going to share is going to be from our heart. So I want to bring up, hold on. I'm going to share my screen. Give me a second, because you all may know that I am still doing window. Okay. There. So that's a picture of my mom, and her name is Ruth Cornelia Alston Mason Lawrence. I know that is a whole lot. That's a whole mouthful.
That's some country people for you.
Yeah, she was from the South. So my mom, Ruth, and actually she was named after her mother. My maternal grandmother's name was also Ruth. My mother was born in Portsmouth, Virginia, on February 22nd, 1920, in Portsmouth, Virginia. So that's a long time ago.
Tell me about
2/22/20, Mama was born. And her parents, Ruth Wilson, that was her mother's maiden name, and her father, George Alston. So that's where the Ruth Alston comes from. And Mama had, you didn't know that?
No, I'm saying my mother's father was named George. Didn't you just say George?
No, your mother's stepfather's named George.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Your mother's biological.
He was around longer than my grandfather.
See, let me just tell y'all something, okay? Boy. Not only do I know my family history, but I think I know the Cookieman's family history better.
No, George just had been around longer than my paternal grandfather. That's why his name.
That's why his name popped
out. To mind first. Okay.
Okay. So, my mother's parents, well, Ruth Wilson, George Alston, born in 1920 in Portsmouth, Virginia. And mom had two siblings, her brother, Robert Alston, and her sister was born Lily Mae, and her nickname was Bo because it had something to do with the boll weevil. I have no idea what it was with the boll weevil, but her nickname was Bo. And my mother's nickname was Sis. Everybody called her Sis. Even when we were children, when I was growing up, people would still call her Sis, call her Miss Sis. Hey, Shasha, my niece. Hey, y'all. So my mother grew up in Portsmouth, Virginia, was very poor. Her parents struggled. My mother became a teenage mother. She gave birth to my sister Claudia when she was only about 15 or 16 years old. And I remember hearing Mama talk about that and saying that actually she didn't really know she was pregnant. She didn't know what pregnancy was. She didn't know how babies were made or anything. Because remember, my mother was born in 1920 and parents were not talking to their children about sex or sexual intercourse or sexual intimacy or anything at all like that. Now, she obviously had sex, but she said she didn't know what she was doing. And there she was, 15 years old, pregnant, and she gave birth to, hey, Pop, my father-in-law. There's your dad.
Hey, Dad.
So she gave birth to my sister Claudia, and really my grandmother Ruth was more instrumental in raising Claudia than my mother was. Her mama was only a teenager at the time. And, unfortunately, my maternal grandmother, my mother's mother, passed away long before I was born. I never had an opportunity to meet her. I did meet my mother's father, George. Hey, Liz, my daughter-in-law. My mother's father lived until I was about maybe 6 years old or something like that. But, the thing about my mother is my mother was always so generous, so caring, so giving, so selfless. My children and my husband sometimes talk to me about myself being selfless, but to tell you the truth, I can't take any credit for that, because that old song, I got it from my mama. That I got from my mother. I learned how to give from the heart. I learned that from my mother because I saw my mother give and give and give and give. Now, her giving was not always healthy, but I can say that her giving was always from her heart, because there were people in her life that took advantage of her.
Okay.
Because she had such a kind and giving and loyal heart. But I did get that from my mother. That's one of the blessings I got from my mother. One of the things I learned from my mother was how to really love and love unconditionally.
Okay. I was kind of chuckling because you said your mother's kindness, and you got it from her also. And people sometimes took advantage of it. And I say that to Val a lot of times.
Yeah.
We have a conversation, and again, Val gives and gives, and I said, honey, people are taking advantage of you. Well, yeah, I don't mind. And, but again, that's coming from different spectrums, like a lot of people do in life. You view things differently. So anyway.
Oh, my daughter just sent me a bunch of pictures. I'm going to try to put them up, of pictures of her, me, and and of her two grandmothers. Oh my God, girl, you've been stealing my pictures. Where did you get these pictures from?
I'm looking at one of my mother. Wow.
Oh my God, this was one of your mother. Listen, work with me, guys, for a minute. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put up a picture of. Let me just share my screen. Give me a second, because I've got to finagle getting these pictures up here. So I'm going to share my screen right now, and I'm going to bring up. Hold on, a window. bring up my mother-in-law. So there's my mother-in-law, Daphne French Small. So talk about your mom, babe, while I got to upload these pictures.
Yeah, so there's my mom. And like Val's mom, teenage mom. My mother was born in May 3rd, 1941. We lived in Brooklyn, New York. And, you know, when I hear some of Val's stories, I chuckle because we kind of on the other spectrum. Val's mom was kind. My mother, I will describe, and it was, you know, because she was a single mother, there had to be an edge to her.
Yeah.
To get what she needed to get to raise a young Black male growing up in the times we were growing up in, even though things were a lot different than you know, my kids had to grow up in terms of society and stuff we look at now. But like Val gets her kindness from her mother,
you get
I get that edge from my mother. You know, you look crooked, we gonna come outside and want to whoop your ass, you know, whatever the case is.
Oh yeah.
But there was also a willingness for my mother to teach. And she made it a point to try to instill some things in me. I lasted longer than 5 minutes, John. And I can remember those times, you know, because my mother, again, being single, you know, there was a village to help raise me. You had my mother, you had my aunt, and my grandmother, and another lady I consider like a mother growing up, Mrs. McCain. So you had all those influences to help guide, you know, a young Black male. My mother had to work and go to school, again, to forge ahead and to provide for us. But when she had the time, wherever she went, I went. Whether it was a friend's house or to the park, you know, I always look as I got some of my sports skill just from kind of being the gopher, chasing behind the ball because they playing handball and stuff like that. And again, of course, as a young man, you grow up and, you know, you're trying to feel yourself. And my mother used to hand it to me if I got out of line.
Yeah.
You know, as I started to get a little older and got a little size to myself, I got a little braver.
The old folks down south would say he started smelling himself.
Yeah, you know, there were those times when mom would try to get mad because I did something at school, and you know, she would call me and want to hit me, and I look at her, I said, "Mom, really?" And I go to hug and hold on to her, and she'd be calling me all out my name and trying to get loose. But again, it was all for the benefit of me. Everything she did was for me.
Yeah, yeah.
And I love her for that. And, you know, my mother passed January, March, April. Was it March? It was around her birthday, March of 96. 97. And, you know, when you have those moments and you think about parents that are gone, even though it's been a long time, it seems like it was just yesterday. So I am blessed to sit here and be able to share these moments with people and to think about my mom and to know what she did for me and how she tried to help me maintain and to guide myself as I became a man, so to speak.
Okay. Sadell, I'm going to ask, listen, these pictures that you're sending, please send them by email because it's so much easier because I'm using my computer. I'm not using my phone. So you send them to my text, then I got to email them to myself, then download them to my computer, and then try to bring them up. So please, baby girl, send them to the email address that I put up. Okay. Hold on. Did I stop sharing?
Maybe.
Okay, hold on. There we go. I apologize because I'm still trying to finagle some of the technical aspect of this. So, you know, like Frank's mom, my mother passed away also. She passed away actually May 10th of 2012. So the 10-year anniversary of her death is in a few days. It'll be coming up in a few days. I remember when I was growing up, because one thing, my mother was a praying woman, and I used to hear her pray. One of the prayers I used to hear her pray all the time was, Lord, let my last days be my best days. Let my last days be my best days. She used to pray that all the time. And as she got older and was no longer able to care for herself, and then when she came to live with Frank and I, and she had Parkinson's, and then she developed Alzheimer's, and it got to the point where she didn't recognize Frank and I. She didn't recognize anybody eventually. And there were people who would sometimes ask, Val, is that hard with your mother not recognizing you? And I would say, absolutely not. Not at all. Because I would say, listen, just because she cannot say my name doesn't mean she doesn't know who I am.
Correct.
I believe that somehow her spirit recognized me as her daughter and recognized Frank as her son-in-law. Was it challenging? Yes, it was challenging at times. But let me tell you something. I remember there was one time in particular when Mama had not recognized any of us for a couple of years. She had not recognized anyone. And I was upstairs doing something, and Frank said, Val, come downstairs. Your mother's asking for you. I said, man, if you don't stop lying, I'm going to bop you side your head. Quit playing with me. Because Mama hadn't recognized us in 2 years now. He said, Val, no, for real, Val, come downstairs. Your mother is asking for you. I didn't believe it. So to humor him, I went downstairs. And let me tell you, I walked into the room and she looked at me and she said, Val, I love you, Val.
Oh boy, I remember that.
You remember that day? Yeah. I crawled up in the bed with her. I mean, I was done. She said, I love you, Val. I love you, Val. She said, thank you, Val. Thank you so much. Thank you and Frankie. Thank you and Frankie. I'm telling you, I was a puddle. I just crawled up in the bed with her and I just hugged her. And I said, oh my God, she remembers me. She does know me. She does recognize me. She does know who I am. Even if those 2 years she hadn't said my name and it appears as if she didn't recognize me and know who I was. But that day, that's one of those things I call a God wink, where God allowed me to connect with my mother, because that was the last time.
Yeah, I was going to say, wasn't it? She wasn't around much longer after
that. Was the last time that she looked at us and said our name, because she said Val, and she was thanking us, and she said she was thanking Frankie, because she called him Frankie. That was his nickname growing up. She always called him Frankie, and I mean, I was just amazed. I was amazed, and I was so grateful to God for giving me that moment with my mother, because that was such a precious gift from God, to just hear her say my name and look at me with recognition after 2 years. Clarity in her eyes, clear voice with a strong voice, and say, Val, I love you. Thank you. Oh my goodness. That was amazing. You remember that too, right, babe? Because we were both puddles on the floor. we were no good. And like I said, I climbed up in the bed with her. And I just hugged her and hugged her and hugged her. And Sidel said,
she sent them to your personal email.
And also she said that was such a rough period of time. It was so hard knowing that she didn't know who I was. Yeah, I know. But you know something, Boo Boo, I said it before and I say it now. Just because someone with Alzheimer's doesn't say your name doesn't mean they don't know who you are. Because I believe that there is a part of us that connects with another human being that's always going to be there, no matter what, even if they can't articulate your name. And like Frank said, Jackie says she agrees. Sis, I absolutely believe that. Maybe a year or so after that is when my mother passed away. And one of the things I remember it fondly now, but I didn't like it so much when I was a kid. And that was Mama making us go to church. Have mercy, Jesus. Church, all day Sunday, because you got Sunday school, then you got morning service, then you got to eat, you got to have a little something to eat, then you got to come back for evening service, okay? Then I had to be in the choir, so then there's choir rehearsal, then there's prayer meeting, And I mean, it seemed like 3-4 days out of the week. I didn't like it.
I'm laughing because it's not that my mother didn't make me go. It's that she didn't go with me.
But she made you
she'll
go.
send me out the house. Now, the school was just a block away and maybe watch for a while. And I go through the front door and go out the side where the yard and the fellas would get together. We out there playing handball or something. And then when it was over, I come out through the front door.
Go through the other side. Oh, my goodness.
Thanks, Shasha. Just so much.
Yeah, Shasha said, you're a great man, Uncle Frank. And you know what? I think I said it up the last time, our last broadcast, because, you know, Frank and I, we had a whole bunch of marital challenges, and he was not always the best husband, but he was always the best son-in-law. The way that you took care of mama. And I used to tell people, I said, listen, he's worth holding on to just for that. Maybe not much else, but he's worth holding on to just for that. So Jonathan said, oh, you made us go to church too? I sure did. Seeing grandma after service made it all worth it. Yeah, she would always give us a few dollars and peppermints. Yeah, she always had those peppermints in her bag. She would always give them out, you know, and she had a couple of dollars. And let me tell you something. Mama really didn't have any money to be giving anybody, but she would always, here, baby, listen, you see her at church, and I always knew what she was doing. Reaching down in her bag, here, baby, slipping, either my children or Jackie's children or some other person in the church, $1 or $2 or $5 or $10. And then Monday, she'd be calling me. I said, but Ma, you done gave out all your money at church yesterday. I know, baby, but they needed it. I said, and you don't? Yeah, but you know, my mother, she struggled a lot in her early years, and I believe that's why she had that prayer to let her last days be her best days, because she struggled a lot. And you know, she was not in the best relationships with the men that she chose in her life. I believe that the best relationship she had, according to her, was with Joe's father, Rudy.
Okay.
She married Rudy. I don't remember when they got married. But Rudy is my older brother, Joe, his father. But he died while Mama was pregnant with Joe. So her time with him of being really cared for didn't last very long. But she always talked about Rudy. And I believe that Rudy was the love of her life. And it was just unfortunate that he died when he did. So they didn't have a whole lot of years for her to experience that, because he was an entrepreneur. And listen, we're talking about in the 30s and 40s in Virginia. He was an entrepreneur. He owned the gas station. He owned the store. Plus, he did his little bootlegging and number running thing on the side. So he had money to take care of my mother well. And I remember Mama sharing stories about how her life changed significantly after he passed away, because she was well cared for. There was money and everything to be taken care of. But then after he passed away, things for her changed very, very drastically. And Charlene, my great niece, said, Nana would fuss at me for falling to sleep in church. She would say, Lean, wake up. Stop partying. Yeah, that's right. Because you party on Saturday, then fall asleep in church on Sunday. Yeah. And eventually, Mama married my stepfather. In between the time when Rudy died, she had my brother Mike, she had me, and then she married my stepfather, who was okay, I'm just gonna say it. He was a beast. Okay. He was really a beast. He was cruel, he was abusive. And I really used to pray for Mama to not be there, to leave. And sometimes I would just want to just disappear, just evaporate, and not be there anymore because of the abuse that she went through. I witnessed my mother experience. Sadell said, yeah, he's a bastard. Yes. Sorry, but true. Yeah. I witnessed her experience a lot of abuse. And even then she would be praying. She was always a praying woman. She would still be going to church. She would still be praying. And for me, it was a blessing to help be an answer to that prayer for her last days to be her best days. Because even though she had Parkinson's and even though she had Alzheimer's, and the last 2.5 to 3 years of her life, she was completely bedbound, she was taken care of with the utmost love by me and Frank. With the utmost. So in that regard, her last days were her best days. Because one thing I used to always say is that every time she opened her eyes, she saw the face of someone who loved her. Not a stranger, not someone who was paid to take care of her, although we did have paid caregivers to help when we were at work. But when she opened her eyes, she saw one of us who loved her.
And even those caregiver people who loved it. It wasn't like a
whole bunch
of people. We had a lady called Mary or a co-worker of mine, who were there on a regular basis. Again, when I hear these stories about Val, now, again, we grew up, but that's not that we're that far apart in age, but circumstances were different. Val's mother, dirt poor. One might consider outside of the family, my mother wealthy, but
compared to us, yo was rich.
Rich. But even though mom did see, my mother had to work, and like I said, she was out there working and going to school, so there were a lot of times when she might not have been home. Hence, where I said there were other people that I consider mother figures who helped raise me. So there was some of that aspect when I hear Val talking. Because matter of fact, when me and Val were at the restaurant this morning, she had made some kind of saying. I forgot what it was you said then. But I said, you know what, Val, as I think about it, other than my mother saying it beats a blank, there wasn't a lot of those catchy type sayings that I can recall that, look at my mother and Sadell, that my mom.
I'm about to share this now. Hold on.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
That I recall my mother saying. But like I said,
John said Grandma Daphne had that MTA money.
and the post office money.
And the post office. She worked for transit and the post office.
Before then. But, again, I didn't want for anything. She was always there. Like I said, when she went somewhere, I went with her and stuff like that. Her friends were over. So I was like, everyone's child when all her friends were over. But again,
hold on, I'm trying to get to that picture. I'm so sorry, guys. Just
the thing I kind of missed out on, or kind of regret, when my mother got sick. Like some parents, I'm gonna keep it secret. I don't want nobody worrying for me.
I remember.
So by time, because me and Val were living upstate New York, and I hadn't been to Brooklyn in a while, and by the time I found out that my mother was, sick with cancer, it was really far gone. There was no turning back.
Yeah.
So I just kind of remember staying there and taking her to her doctor's appointments. I missed out on, I guess, giving back, so to speak. Yeah. But those times that we had left was just precious. Even if I just sat there and she was sleeping, at least I knew I was there to help her get dressed, tie her shoes, or whatever, and get her to the doctor.
Yeah. I remember when
love you too, Jack.
when Frank's mom was first diagnosed with cancer, and I remember she didn't want Frank to know. She told me, but she didn't want Frank to know. And I held it for as long as I could, but eventually I said, Ma, I can't. We have to tell Frank, because and I said to her, if you pass away and Frank not know that you had cancer and knew that I knew, he will never ever forgive me. So I said, Ma, we gotta tell him. And then
I'm just hearing this now. You know, I don't remember you even telling me that then.
Yeah. And eventually I told you, and I brought you. Remember, we came down to Brooklyn and I tried to prepare you.
What I remember is going down there, Robin meeting me outside. That was the man she ended up marrying late in life. And he said, Frank, you know, don't overreact because your mother lost a lot. I'm like, you know, mother effer, what the frick you mean? To me, that's what I kind of remember in the first time I found out about it.
Yeah. Sadell said, by the time we found out she was sick, it was too late. That's one of the things she regrets the most, is not being able to see Grandma Daphne as much in her last days. Yeah, I know, baby. I know. But your Grandma Daphne, from the point of diagnosis to death, was not that long.
Yeah,
it was less than a year.
It was quick, yeah.
It was less than a year.
It was quick, yeah.
And when she started to decline and lose a lot of weight, she didn't want you grandchildren seeing her like that. She wanted you guys to remember her the way she looked the last time you saw her, when she was well and she was healthy. And that was something that your dad and I struggled with in terms of whether we should you know, let you guys see her or honor what she wanted. And we opted to honor her wishes, because if I were in her position, I want you guys to honor my wishes as well.
That was 97.
97.
So our kids were just, you know, in there. None of them were teenagers yet.
Well, they were teenagers. They were in
80s.
John was in junior high school. Sadell was in high school.
Okay.
Or they all might have been in junior high, but we went
97.
Yeah, because we had just relocated from upstate back to Brooklyn. Because I came back to Brooklyn in December of 96. And then, because that's when you and I were separated.
Yeah.
And then you came back to Brooklyn a couple months before your mom passed away.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do, I'm trying to get these pictures that Sadell sent to me. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble. Share. I'm trying to get to the pictures. I think maybe I have too many of them. I think maybe that might be it.
You don't see that one?
I don't think so.
Boo-boo in that head.
No, because it would be up there.
Oh, like, okay.
I'm sorry, guys. Just bear with me for a few minutes. So this is what I'm going to do. I may have to close out all the pictures and start over. And yeah, I'm gonna close out that one. We showed that one already. We showed that one already. Because
you got rid of that one already? The wedding?
No, that one is still up there.
Bring that back up.
I'm going to try to share that if I can.
If everybody look at this,
I don't think they can see it.
Oh, yet. They can't see it. Oh,
no,
that's
I have to. Let me share and see if.
Okay.
Window. Yeah, there it is. Okay.
All right, so if everyone can see this, obviously, this is our mothers.
They can see it now.
Me and Val in our 20s. But if you notice something, this is just getting married time, right? So you notice something in that picture? Blow it up. Like, it's how big they see it. Now, y'all notice something in that picture? Blow it up, babe. Blow it up.
I'm trying to see if I can blow it up.
Anyway, y'all see something in that picture? Look on my head.
He losing his hair already.
No, I ain't talking about look. The point is I got hair.
Oh, that you got hair.
And see what happens after a lot of years of marriage.
Have mercy, Jesus. Don't be trying to blame me. But listen.
But now look at our mamas.
If you all saw Frank's high school graduation picture, he was already, the widow's peaks had already started. So he can't be blaming that on me.
Hey, Felicia.
He had started, Felicia had started losing his hair long before me. So hold on. I'm going to stop sharing. And so let me get rid of that one. So Jackie, I'm going to bring you in a few minutes, but I want to bring up Nicole. Hold on. I'm going to see if, let me share screen.
Oh, Frank said he loved that picture. I love it too, son.
Window. There we go. Okay, there we go. So that's my friend Nicole. That's her mom. So Nick, you want to talk some about your mother?
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I was so excited when I saw your post that we were going to be honoring our mothers today.
You're welcome.
I miss all those Ruthisms you used to have.
I know.
At work, you didn't have a Ruthism. I look forward to it.
Every day at work, I would say, well, my mother would say every single day.
Excuse me. Hey, Slide. Tell him I said hi, Felicia. Tell him I gave Mom McCain a shout out too. You know, I loved her.
Mm-hmm. Okay, baby. Go ahead, Nick. Share with us something about your mom.
As you guys said, my mom was my biggest cheerleader, just like for you guys. I was her only one, so I feel special because all she wanted was a little girl, and she got me. You see, that's me. I was about 4 years old, and of course, I think I was like 9 months in the top picture. She's feeding me, and then but it's only been not even 14 months now. So
wow. Okay.
Yeah. And like you said, Frank, I mean, I know even it's just hard because she's your first, and being without her, it's like it's not a day that go by that you don't think about her.
One way or another.
Not a day. So I mean, this time of year, I always I've had friends that lost their mothers a long time ago, and how they don't like Mother's Day. Mother's Day was always a big thing for me, and how it's changed. So I'm just glad. I was looking forward to this again. I needed my Ruthisms and all the wonderful things Val would say about your mom as well. So it's just like a homecoming. So I needed this. So I miss, but she's with me. She's with me. She's
all the time.
I had her heart when she was on Earth, and now I feel her in my heart every step of every day. I even sound like her now. It's the Cynthia in me. So that's her, and then the picture up there, that's her little family tree. Only me, and I gave her I overdid it with the grandkids.
Yeah.
My grandson is 8 now, so she got 7 years of being a great grandmother. She couldn't believe I had all those kids.
Yeah, I love. I think this is a great picture. A great picture of you, your mom, your children, and your little grandson down there.
Yeah. Y'all got me beat out though. Remember, Val, you had none, and it was like,
I know.
Y'all had, have. There's more to come though.
I know.
I got the
for the longest.
And I'm like, whoa! But your grandbaby just turned a year old, right?
I know. Yeah, my Eli. He just turned a year old. Yeah. And he had he recently had surgery too on his ears. He had tubes placed in his ears because poor boy, he's had so many ear infections in his 1 year of life. So I'm praying that it will be successful and he won't have as many infections as before. Hey, Mama Martell, good to see you. So go ahead, baby.
No, what I wanted to say when Nicole talked about Mother's Day, I got to tell you, Nicole, after my mother passed, it took me a long time to want to go or celebrate Mother's Day at all. Now, of course, I got Val, my wife, and kids, and it's Mother's Day, but I used to say, Val, I'm sorry. Yeah. I used to use the phrase, honey, you're not my mother. The kids are, you're the kids' mother.
Right.
Let them take you out. I just didn't want to be anywhere hearing anything about Mother's Day and seeing people celebrate Mother's Day anymore. My mother was gone. Mama was gone. That bothered me for a long time to be able to be out and be a celebratory thing about Mother's Day. So I understand.
Yeah. So let me see if I could share this. Adele wanted me to show this. Give me un momento. We could go there. That's Adele with Frank's mom. That was Adele. Look at my baby girl, my boo-boo. Look like Emmy. She looks like Emmy.
That's a
Yeah.
cute
So,
one.
Nicole, I thank you for sharing your mother with us. I thank you. I appreciate you coming on, because that's what this is all about. You know, we want to honor our mothers. We want to remember our mothers. Even, listen, not just the moms who have passed away, but the mothers who are still here, because it's even more important to honor your mother while they are here. You know, who was it? Well, the Shirley Caesar that had a song. Oh God, I forget what it was. It essentially was about that, the denied mother, or something to that effect. Yeah, take care of your mother, honor your mother, love on your mother while she is here. Don't wait until your mama's gone, and then you got to act like you're gonna spend all this money on the funeral to make up for the love you didn't give her while she was here. Love your mama here, okay? Even if your mama's not going to be perfect. Mothers make mistakes. I realized that so much after I became a mother. I gave my mother so much grace after I became a mother myself, and realized how difficult a job it really is. So even your mother's not perfect. Your mama's going to make mistakes. She may get on your last nerve sometimes. She may get all out of her lane. She may get all up in your business, but love her anyway. Because there's going to come a day, if the circle of life goes the way it's supposed to go, your mother's going to be gone, and you are going to wish that you had loved on her. You are going to wish you had spent more time with her. You're going to wish that you had called her. You're going to wish that you had gone to see her. You will give anything just to hear your mother's voice one more time. So I implore you, love on your mother while she's here. Give her flowers while she's here, because when she's gone, she cannot experience all them floral sprays and all that $8,000 casket and all that. That really don't mean anything. But love on your mother now. So Nick, thanks again. I love you, girl. I love you. And we got to make a date, okay? We got to make our sister girl date. Hey, Nick, the Mama's House crew.
I'm gonna work on getting that together. We're gonna come up with a date.
Okay, all right. I love you, sis.
Love you too. Love y'all too.
Bye.
Bye, dear.
I'm gonna bring on my sister Jackie. Hey, sis.
That ain't happening, boo boo.
Hey.
So Sadell said,
I got on my mama's shirt.
Yes. Let me move that out the way so people can see. Let me see if I can make it bigger.
My mama's shirt. Mama Ruth's legacy.
Mama Ruth's legacy.
I have to. My sister is my sister. But to my brother-in-law, words can never, ever, ever, ever tell you how much I love you and how much I appreciate. When I tell you, when anybody who's watching and listening right now, when I tell you that man, Cookieman, Frankie Chase, Frank did more for our mom than some of her own children did. And so, Frank, I say it to the world, I love you. And I thank you. I thank you, Frankie, for caring for mommy the way that you did. I thank you, Frank. I thank you so much. And I love you. You understand? I love you because you didn't have to do what you did, but you did it because you loved her. And I thank you, Frankie. I thank you so much. Because Mama Lawrence, let me tell y'all, that lady there, that lady there, I would not be half the woman I am today if it was not for her.
Yeah.
And to my sister, God, God strategically does things. It wasn't by chance that you, sis, went into nursing. It wasn't by chance. Wow, that's me. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's you, sis. Mama. That's you and Mama.
Let me tell you, Val got all the pictures. Let me let y'all know that right now. But it wasn't
That's
by
Ben.
chance, Val, that you went into nursing.
You're welcome, Ben.
Because God knew that this was going to take place in Mom's life, and you needed to be the one to care for her. Let me tell, for anybody listening, my mother, our mother, never went into a nursing home.
That's right.
She didn't go into a nursing home. My sister and my brother-in-law, they had a room.
Jackie, we were not having it. I wasn't having it.
We weren't having
I know.
She made it easy for me to do what I did. It was never an issue, never a problem.
I know. But they built a house. They built a room in their house and a bathroom in their house specifically for our mom. That woman, that woman, yo, when I tell y'all she held us down, that woman prayed for us. And even today, in 2022, with my grandchildren and Frank and Val's grandchildren, we see the prayers of mommy being answered today in our family, because she was a praying woman. And so I'm going to say this to every mother, pray over your children.
Oh, yeah.
Pray over your children. We may not see it, but pray over your children, because I promise you, the prayers of mommy are manifesting today in the lives of us, the lives of our children, and the lives of our grandchildren.
Oh, yes.
Pray over your children. Pray over them. But to my sister and my brother-in-law, her latter years were better than her former years. Charlene, Simone, you guys went down, I went down, and y'all helped. And I just want you, thank you. I thank you, because as a family, we did what we could.
Yes.
Mommy knew she was loved. She knew. Mommy knew. She knew. Whether she knew who we were or not, mommy knew that she was loved. I remember before she got real sick, and I would go from Queens to Brooklyn, me and my kids. We would go to mommy's house and we would clean. They would go grocery shopping with me for her. I'd take her to the beauty parlor. My children remember that. They remember, and they talk about it even today. Going to mommy's house, and it's like, we never left grandma's house without a bag.
Always. Listen, you couldn't leave mama's house empty-handed. You could not leave mama's house empty-handed. You had to have something, even if it was a chicken. She was going to give it to you.
She had to give you some. Yeah. But wait, now, the rolls.
Yeah.
The homemade rolls.
Oh, yes. The homemade rolls.
But I got one better than that. Frank, remember how you and me used to fight over chocolate cake?
Yeah.
Mommy would make 2 chocolate cakes because Frank and I both love chocolate cakes. So she would make more than one so that me and Frankie both would have enough chocolate cake to eat and to take home.
Yeah.
That was
y'all be fighting over that cake.
We sure would. But that family was everything. Everything to our mom. Family was everything to her. Everything. Like that poem, Phenomenal Woman, that's our mom.
What's for mama? That was
Phenomenal
mama.
Woman.
So,
that's our mom.
This picture here, sis, this was you remember this picture right here?
Yes, I do. Yep.
We were at we were at New Testament Church.
Yes, I remember that. Yep.
That was
wow.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
This is Mama. There's Mama and so many of her grandchildren. I don't think all of the grandchildren are there, but a lot of her grandchildren are in this picture.
Absolutely. Wow. There's little Mike. Yeah. Oh my God. Those are
so just to give you an example, this little one here behind the candle, that Dre, how old is Dre now? Dre is, well, that little one behind the candle in the little brown shirt, that little one, he's got 7 children now himself.
Wow. Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah. That was, I think it was Mama's 75th birthday.
Yeah. Oh my good. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. The legacy. The legacy.
That's her legacy.
Said Dre is 31.
Oh, Dre's 31. Yeah, Dre's 31.
Oh.
Yeah.
Would you look at that? Oh my God.
So let me just check my email real quick to see if anybody else sent anything. No,
I think we will fight over those roles.
Wow. Well, I for a while I could make those rolls. I haven't made them in such a long time. I don't know if I'd be able to do it now. But back in the day, I could make the rolls almost as good as Mama's. Not as good as hers, but almost.
I've never made them, but I'm going to try it. I am going to try. I'm going to try them. But the one thing I do make now, and I've got to write to Simone, is like, we need recipes. Remember Mommy's potato jacks?
Oh yeah, potato jacks. Yep. I remember that.
I make them on a regular for the kids. So yeah. Oh my goodness! Wow.
Oh, so listen, Sadell just sent this. Hold on, I gotta show this picture.
Okay.
I gotta get back over to StreamYard. Mercy Jesus. Okay, hold on. Okay, there we go. Let me stop sharing that. And Sadell has some dolls, some of Mama's dolls. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Remember Hulk Hogan?
Yep.
You remember Hulk Hogan doll?
Yep. Oh
wow. Sadell still has Mama's Hulk Hogan doll. Mama was a huge Hulk Hogan fan. First of all, listen, forgive my mother, but she actually thought wrestling was real.
You're right.
She thought wrestling was real. And she would get in a heated argument if you tried to tell her that wrestling was not real. She said, yeah, it is. Don't you see that? Look there. He hit him with that chair. Look there. He bleeding. I said, but Mom, that's all orchestrated. If they get hurt, it's by accident because they rehearsed it beforehand. She said, oh, get on away from here. Yes. Mama loved Hulk. Yeah. Oh, that's right, Adele. And she loved Lenny Briscoe from Law and Order. That was her main man, Lenny Briscoe from Law and Order. So Mama had that Hogan doll when our children were babies.
Yeah, for a long time.
And Adele still has that doll now.
Wow.
Yeah. So, we just wanted to come on here today and just talk about mothers and to share our mothers with you and to share what they meant to us and the difference they made in our lives and what their legacy is and the things that they taught us, because I am the woman I am today because of my mother. And I did not always think that I would be able to say that, because like most mother-daughter's relationship, especially when you're a teenager, because when you're a teen, you think your mama don't know anything. She's not cool. She doesn't know what she's talking about. We teenagers, we think we know everything. So I went through that period. And even in my early 20s, I went through a period where I was not very kind to my mother. I was not kind to my mother at all. And I realize now, many years later, after having gone through counseling and doing some of my trauma work, I realize now that I was angry with her because I felt she didn't protect me from her husband. But also understanding now that she was an abused woman herself. She was suffering from the battered woman syndrome, and she couldn't even protect herself, much less me. And that allowed me to extend some grace to her as I got older. But I remember there was a time when, oh, Muchina's watching. Hey, Muchina. So I remember there was a time when I felt so incredibly remorseful for I'm getting feedback. I think it's from you, Jackie. I just muted you. I think it's so I felt so remorseful for being so unkind to my mother. And I remember one day I just felt overwhelmed. I had to apologize to her and beg her forgiveness. And she was in the bathroom, sitting on the toilet. I knocked on the bathroom door and I'm crying. Mom, I need to talk to you. She said, baby, I'm sitting on the toilet. I said, I don't care, Ma. I don't care. I need to talk to you now. I went into the bathroom. I fell down on my knees in front of her. Now she on the toilet, right? And I just hugged her. I grabbed her and I just apologized. I said, Ma, I am so sorry. I am so sorry because I have not been kind to you. I've been mean to you. I had a nasty attitude with you. And I'm so sorry, Ma. Will you please forgive me? And Mama started laughing. I said, girl, as soon as I get up and wipe my tail, I will.
Listen, I didn't have those. I wouldn't say an opportunity, but if I ever thought about being unkind growing up, my mother would whip my behind. And even as I got older, if I thought about she'd lock me out the house, which she did many a times too. I mean, obviously, a young man growing up, relationship with his mother is going to be different than a daughter's relationship. You know, but again, as I thought I was getting older, boy, you better call me where you're going when you get where you're going, or if you're not coming home. What? Ma, I don't know what I'm be doing when I get where I'm going. I'm supposed to move from the woman to call you. But you know what? As crazy as that sounded to me, as I kind of remember telling Val that later on in life, she said, Frank, do you realize how many women might have respected you a lot for you to do that? Say, hey, listen, Val, I got to call my mom. Just let her know I'm not coming home tonight because I'm hanging out with you. And it didn't dawn on me. All I could think is, mom trying to control me, getting in the way of some snatch I might get. I got the call. That's all I was thinking. Yeah. But, you just don't understand it. At the moment they're saying or thinking or wanting these things from you till later on in life.
Yeah. And I got to tell you that one of the things that I found that attracted me to Frank was the relationship he had with his mother. That was one of the things that I really liked, the relationship that he had with his mom and with his mother, because that's one of the things Mama always taught me to look at. Look at how a man treats his mom. I mean, that's not 100% a guarantee. If he treats his mother well, that he's going to treat you well. But it gives you a good indication of how he could possibly treat you in the future. And I remember when you and I remember us, we used to sneak upstairs.
Oh, please.
Because when Frank and I met, he was living with his mother, right? And I could come over and I could sleep over, but I was supposed to sleep in the guest room and not in Frank's room. So sometime we would be out, right? And we'd get to Frank's house. He'd go in and look. He said, Val, she on the couch sleep. So I'd crawl on his back so that she'd only hear one set of footsteps going up the stairs.
And you know something? When you think about stuff like that, again, that says something about Val. Because how many women want to deal with someone that's still in with his mother? You got the piggyback on his back to get upstairs. I mean, there's just some kind of intrigue in that still. Who really wants to hang around that stuff?
Yeah, but I mean, we used to do that. Climb up on his back so she'd hear one set of footsteps going up the stairs, and then later on in the night, I would go across any other room so that when she'd wake up in the morning, I'd be in the guest room and not in Frank's room, because that was a real strict rule she had, that I could sleep over, but I could not spend the night in Frank's room. But we were young. We were in our 20s. We worked all around that. Remember?
Yeah.
I remember one time we were in there.
My mom used to like to drink a little tequila, so all we had to do was give her a chance to get her drink on it, and we good to go.
But I remember one night we were in Frank's room and in his bed, and I knew your mother knew I was in there, because what happened? She opened the door.
Yeah, I remember.
She
that.
didn't open it all the way, and she turned the
light
on.
I remember that.
She just turned the light on, but she didn't open the door all the way. And I said, "Oh my God, Frank, your mother knows that I'm in here with you." So my daughter Sadell said, "Now this is from my daughter."
Wait. Okay, go ahead and take my job.
Sadell said, "Pardon my language, but I was a bitch to my mom as a teenager. When I got older, I broke down and cried and apologized for how terribly I treated her. I still feel bad about it to this day." That's all right, boo-boo. Because listen, I understood that because I had done the same exact thing to my own mother. So I completely understand that. And what I call that now is, I call that those alien years, when your children reach a certain age and they think that
they got to try you.
They're unrecognizable. They want to do their own thing. Those are the alien years, but they do become human again. Later on, you can count on that. They'll become human again. Was there something that John said here?
Yeah, John just wanted me to, because I did talk about, I feel like I got some of my sports acronym from my mother, but he wanted me to just touch upon that. My mother, avid bowler.
Yes.
I mean, very good.
Excellent.
My mother was a petite woman all her life. But man, and like I tell you, we get that attitude from her, because it's like when I get on the court, I ain't your friend. Right. I won't be laughing, don't be waving. It's time to play. Like, you can't go bowling Val because you throw it in the gutter. Oh, it's just a gutter. No, you can't be on my team. Even you don't want to bowl. That's like playing cards. So again, what Don is talking about, my mother would get on those lanes, and it was all about business.
Yes.
I'm coming to take your throat, and we might laugh when it's over.
Maybe.
But again, that's just how I play now. My son Frank has that same kind of attitude about playing. John's like his mother. Just a game. It ain't all that serious.
But let me tell you,
when he played football.
But let me tell you about Frank's mom. When I remember the first time I went to her house, right, to see Frank, there were bowling trophies everywhere. Frank's mother must have had about 30 or 40 bowling trophies. That's how good she was. She played in bowling leagues in Brooklyn. What was the bowling lane that used to? Parkside bowling. I don't think it's there anymore.
Oh no, it's long.
But Parkside bowling lanes in Angela said, "Hey Angie, thanks for watching." Said she was a spoiled one. Yeah, bowling like nobody's business. She was a very, very good bowler, a very avid bowler. So again, I want to thank you guys.
Sorry, guys.
Listen, he forgot we were on camera. Did y'all hear?
Listen, better up there than down below.
My husband, okay? If nothing else, he's gonna keep it real. So that's all I could say. Y'all pray for a sister, all right? So thank you guys. Jackie, let me open up your mic again. Thank you guys so much. For those who might be, hold on, I'm trying to open your mic. I can't mute your guests because they chose to mute themselves. So unmute yourself, sis.
I got it.
There you go.
I did. Okay.
So whether you're watching right now or you're watching at a later time, thank you so much. And again, thank you, Nicole. Thank you, Jackie. And I want to encourage you all again to love on your mother and forgive her for any mistakes that she have made, any wrongs that she may have done, because trust and believe the day will come when you're going to wish that you had. Anything else you want to add, baby?
Just blessed that we had our mothers.
Yeah, we had our moms. Because I'm gonna tell you, I love my mother-in-law as much as I love my own mother, and Frank loved my mother as much as he loved his own mother. And that, let me put it like this. Part of what I learned about being a good mother-in-law, I learned from my mother-in-law, because I hear so many people talk negatively about their mother-in-law and how they don't get along with their mother-in-law. I always got along beautifully with my mother-in-law. Okay. And a lot of what I learn now, a lot of what I do practice now about being a good mother-in-law is I learned from my mother-in-law. She never intruded on me and Frank and in our business. Now, when I went to talk to her, when Frank and I were having problems, she would offer me some encouragement and some advice, but she never just arbitrarily called up or came and said, yeah, y'all need to do this and y'all need to do that. My mother-in-law, she never, ever did that. Even in our worst days, she didn't do that. And one thing I knew, that my mother-in-law would have my back. I knew she would have my back. Even when the times that Frank and I were separated, I would say to myself, listen, I know Frank may be able to take them other women around certain people, but I don't think he would dare to take another woman around my mother-in-law, because I think she would have hit him with a frying pan upside his head and say, you dare bring him in this house, where's Val? Where's Val? So I am both very, very blessed to have both our mothers and to have our mothers-in-law. And here I went over my hour again. This hour goes by so fast. So thank you guys
and
so
again,
much.
I know this was focusing on, but for me, it's really, really important to just again acknowledge the three other women that were, what's the word I'm looking for?
Instrumental?
Instrumental. And again, that was my aunt, Arlene.
Yes.
If this was on deck, I have some stories about my aunt. My aunt Arlene, my grandmother, and Mrs. McCain. Those women were very, very, very important in my life when you talk about mothers. You know how we do. You be around some other families long enough, you got all these other mothers that, you know, even though they didn't birth you, but these women were extremely important to me. I hold them in such high regard.
Yeah. Yes. So, Nick, Jackie, everybody who's watching now or later, thank you guys so much. We will not be here on next Sunday because it's Mother's Day, but we're here the week after that. And I will be honored to have Bishop John Edmondson and his wife, Pastor Aisha Edmondson. They're going to be talking about male leadership in the home, what it means for a man to be the priest of his home, and what it means to cover and lead and disciple.
Yes.
So you don't want to miss that. And also, starting in 2 weeks, when we broadcast, it will be on YouTube. I don't think it's going to be on Facebook, but I will post it on Facebook. But there'll be a link for the YouTube channel. So we'll be broadcasting from YouTube. Okay, so in 2 weeks, you don't want to miss that. Bishop John Edmondson and Pastor Ike Edmondson. Yeah, baby.
Sha, you getting old, girl. 51. Happy belated.
I know, right?
Wait.
51. Lord have mercy.
Sasha?
Wow.
Yes.
It's my great niece. Man, y'all getting old. I don't know. Y'all getting old. I'm getting younger. We getting younger, Nick. We getting younger, Jackie.
That's right, sis.
He's gonna be 51.
Wow.
I can remember you coming to visit when you were such a child, going to sleep on my chest like everybody else. Lord have mercy.
They call Frankie the warden. My kids call Frankie the special child. They call Frankie the warden. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day.
Ladies, happy Mother's Day to you guys.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, all the grandmothers, all the mother figures, because there are a lot of women who are out there who are raising children who are not their own. There are a lot of women out there who are providing nurturing and leadership and guidance and prayer for children who are not their own. So I don't want to forget those women at all. I want to also thank our church mothers, those mothers who pray for us, who are there for us.
Yes.
Thank you. And happy Mother's Day to everyone. Okay, God bless you guys. See you in 2 weeks.
Good night.
Wait. Before we go. To my
Yes.
sister, to my big sister, to my best friend, to my confidant, to my cheerleader. I wish you happy Mother's Day, sis. To my role model, I love you to the moon and back, sis. And I just wish you a very happy Mother's Day. I love you, Valerie. I love you. And I thank you for always being there for me, for being always having my back. While I don't have mommy, I got you. And I thank you, sis, and I love you.
I love you more. Oh, FYI, everybody. My sister and I, we're going down to Virginia Beach on Thursday. On Thursday, my sister is graduating with her Master of Divinity degree, and we will be in Virginia Beach at her graduation. So give a shout out to my sister Jackie, getting her Master of Divinity degree. Congratulations, sis. I will be there. You don't cross that stage without me being there, okay? They might hear me holler here in Pennsylvania. Okay, bye, y'all.
See y'all.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Love y'all.